Good morning, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. Privacy in the United Kingdom is no longer with us. And I don't just mean in terms of the digital ID they want to impose upon us, or the digital currency that they are looking to impose upon us, although they are linked to the content of the video. I mean, the traditional relationship between the bank and the citizen is all but over. The banks are now state assets, and that's largely because the state bailed the banks out. But it's not just due to that. It's due to a new piece of legislation that's come in which should send shivers down everybody's spine who respects and wants freedom in this United Kingdom. Now, the particular piece of legislation has been given the nickname Fear. Let's just have a look at it now. Welcome to the Ministry of Truth, how Labour's Fraud Act deputises your bank as state informant. The Ministry of Truth is open for business. The new Fear Act unleashes Orwellian nightmare on the working class. When a piece of legislation acquires the nickname before it even receives royal assent, you know something has gone badly wrong. The Fear Act, they are calling it, and fear is precisely what the Public Authorities Fraud, Error and Recovery Act 2025 is designed to instill. Not just tax evaders hiding millions in offshore accounts, not in the organised criminal gangs milking public contracts for billions, but in a disabled person claiming personal independence payments, carers exceeding arbitrary earning thresholds by a few pounds, and pensioners with modest savings that they forgot to declare. That's what it's all about. State overreach, and this act actually compels the bank to inform on you to the government, the Department for Work and Pensions, without even the courtesy of letting you know that they're releasing your private information to the state. Then we go into this. What this means for you. Bank secrecy is dead. The DWP can access your data directly from your bank without your knowledge, even if they trigger a EMV. That's a scary sounding euphemism if you ever heard one. Surveillance is automated, so it's going to be done by AI. Algorithms will flag regular transfers like gifts or side hustle income as suspicious. Warrants are easier. Investigators can enter homes and locked areas with greater ease, and there's a 3-month rule. Recovery action is now legally requires a look back at a minimum of 3 months in your financial history. Or it gets better, or it gets worse, depending on the way that you're looking at it. I give the state no credit. This is all about control. Unexpected income. They can so say for example you get a birthday gift. Sold an old sofa, the algorithm can flag this and it is watching. Lifestyle contradictions. If you claim PIP for disability, but you're seen buying petrol or going to a cafe, the system will flag you as a fraudster. So hang on, say you want PIP, alright? Say for example you've lent your debit card or your credit card to your brother, your sister, your auntie, your uncle, whoever. Get the petrol on my card, give me the cash, for whatever reason. It'll be flagged as suspicious and they'll be down on you like a ton of, why are you buying petrol if you can't move? It's nothing to do with you, but out of my business is what I would say. Let's see what else. Trading patterns. Selling your old clothes or rented on eBay. If the computer decides that you're a trader avoiding tax, you are in crosshairs. A bit more information on this now. The Act aims, allegedly, according to Grok, to empower the Department for Work and Pensions and a new public sector fraud authority to investigate suspected fraud beyond tax and benefits. It includes access to bank accounts and third-party data. Extend time limits for recovering COVID-19 related fraud. Well, that's fair enough, I suppose. Introduce safeguards like codes of practice, independent oversight and proportionality requirements, though these are being debated for lacking enforceability. Reduce the 9.5 billion annual cost of benefit fraud. That sounds nice. It sounds fluffy. It sounds harmless. It's never going to be used that way. It will never be used that way. Like the Online Safety Act, do you think that's going to be used the way it was intended? Oh, sorry, no, let me rephrase. The advertised reason for the Online Safety Act, which is like 500 pages long, they say is to protect children. It's already being used for a multitude of different things, and this is going to be exactly the same. I had a friend of a friend, and she was going to the DWP to review benefits. To be fair, I don't know what benefits they're on. It's better that I don't name names. The person they were speaking to was looking through the bank history, the bank statements. Oh, you paid X amount of money, I think it was 5 or 10 grand, I can't actually remember, to someone. Why is this money gone out to your bank account? Can you tell me? And the woman replied to the person at the DWP, oh, my daughter lent me some money, I'm paying her back. The reply, oh, we know this already. We wanted to check that you were going to give us the right answer. Excuse me. This is what you need to think about. The state is not your friend. The state is not there to help you. The state is there to help the state. I've got 2 separate videos to watch here. Now, they're not directly linked to this Act of Parliament, but this is what banks and the police are already doing to citizens, and this is without this legislation. If you think that there won't be a mission creep with this legislation into every walk of life, and this isn't the reason why they want you to have a digital ID, and they want a digital currency, because it makes all of this easier. It cuts out the pesky middleman. Imagine if there was an algorithm that flags you and says, right, okay, we don't like these transactions. It could be X, Y, or Z. Say, for example, you've gone and you've got a bottle of whiskey at the Asda. The algorithm or the AI could flag that and say, oh, you've already had a bottle of whiskey this week, you're not having another one. And if you try to buy it, your card's declined even though the money's in there. They can't do it that with physical money. Well, if you want a digital currency and a digital ID, they can do that. Or they can do, if they can do like assertive discipline like they did in high school, alright? First time is a warning, second time you're restricted for a week, third time is a permanent ban. And they can do this with everything, and you think that, and you want to trust this government with all of this? Definitely not. This is the first clip, and this is from somebody just wanting to make a random withdrawal from a bank, and this is the response they got.
Their bank, right?
What are you doing, sir?
I'm filming you and I'm recording this conversation. I'm coming to the bank to withdraw £2,500. Are you going to let me? I've got £11,500 in my account. Are you going to let me? Are you going to let me to have the money or not? Hello, are you going to let me have the money or not? Huh?
I can't remove that restriction that's on there.
You can't remove this restriction. You can't remove the restriction, okay. After your colleague told me that I'm a liar, yeah? So your colleague told me I'm a liar yesterday. I've come in to withdraw £2,500, yeah? And you're not going to let me have my money today, is that right?
Right, you can still use your card.
I'm not, answer the question please, yeah? I know I can still use my card. Are you going to let me withdraw £2,500 from my account today, yes or no, in the branch?
And what is the £2,500 for, Mr. Jackson?
Buying a motorbike for my son.
Right, okay, so have you got any evidence of the motorbike you
No, I haven't got any evidence of a motorbike at all, no, I haven't got it, so I don't know what one I'm getting yet.
Okay, so if you don't know what you're getting, how do you know how much you need?
Because I've got a budget of £2,500 for the motorbike, so that's why I want to withdraw £2,500 from my account today. Yeah.
I want to pause this for a bit of a sidebar. You need to be aware with all banks in this United Kingdom. You think you're depositing your money into a bank and you think you're entitled to your money whenever you want it. That's a common misconception. If you look at the small print on a contract for a bank account, there's a waiting period for a certain amount. And what it means is you're actually paying the bank your money. Alright? When you receive a statement to say that you're in credit by X amount, alright, what they're actually saying to you is they owe you that amount of money. They're not saying that that is literally deposited in a vault waiting for you. You could have 100k in your bank account, and that's not a cash guarantee to that money. All that is every time you receive a bank statement online, is the bank essentially saying, we owe you this amount of money. Right? If every single person in this United Kingdom went to their bank tomorrow to withdraw every single penny piece from every single commercial bank in the UK, the entire financial sector, probably not just in the UK but in Western society, would collapse because it's built on sand. There's no actual commodities backing up anything. Anyway, we'll continue.
So when you find the bike for your son, if you can show us some evidence of that.
So you're not. So I need to show you evidence. So I need to show you evidence. I'm doing it. No. Really?
You can't film me without my permission, sir.
We'll leave that one there. But yeah, we've got a foreigner telling a British guy that he can't withdraw £2,500 from his own bank account because he's got no evidence of what the transaction is for. And this is before this fear legislation came in. If you don't think that you seen it earlier when I mentioned it. The algorithm will flag your account as suspicious. You won't be notified. Someone will put a pause on your bank accounts, and this kind of stuff will happen on a daily basis. This is why they're closing all the banks. It's not about, people don't use bricks and mortar banks anymore. They want to remove the face-to-face element, the interaction between people. Back in the day, 2 or 3 generations ago, you'd go into your bank, you would have a personal relationship with your local bank manager, you would go in with 10 years worth of rent receipts saying I paid every single weekly rental payments on my property. This is proof of my good character. This is proof you can loan me the money for a mortgage. It's not done like that anymore. They want to cut out the personal human interactions. That's the first clip. And the second clip is one, this is even more egregious. This is from the police with some no-marks up in Scousland, up in Liverpool, thinking they know better than people when it comes to the law. No. The law is applied to some, interpreted for others. I've always said this. So we're going to play this clip now.
You don't know the law. You don't have to have drugs on your money seized. You don't have to be involved in a crime.
You do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't know the law. You don't know the law.
A UK police officer claims that carrying over £1,000 in cash is grounds for money laundering. Sounds ridiculous, right? But what unfolds next takes an even more surreal turn. And trust me, you're not prepared for how quickly this escalates. It all begins with a simple, reasonable question. On what grounds are you seizing my money? But the response? Alarming. The officers don't reference any evidence. No crime, no drugs, just the amount of cash. Their logic? If you're not employed and have more than £1,000 on you, they can take it. That's it.
That's not true. None of that is true. There's a specific caveat to police doing an uncalled for check like this, or an unvetted check. They need a reasonable suspicion that a crime is or has been committed. What they do here is they've noticed that somebody's got I don't know how they've noticed it, unless he's got a sandwich board on him ringing a bell saying, look at me, I've got £1,000 in cash. How do they know that he's got £1,000 on him? That's the first question. Have they been trailing him? Why have they pulled him over?
No further justification, just cash and suspicion. The man stays composed but firm. He challenges them, asks under what law they're acting. Suddenly the officers start scrambling. Their answers loop in circles. They can't cite a crime because there isn't one. Instead, they shift tactics. We don't need drugs to seize your money. And that's when the situation takes a darker turn. They decide to detain him. Why?
So they've made an assumption that he's a money launderer because he's walking around in broad daylight. So they're assuming he's not got a job. They're assuming he's up to no good. They're assuming that money isn't his. So you're making all of these assumptions. It's innocent until proven guilty. As I say, unless he was like smoking a joint or he was drunk and disorderly, which he clearly isn't when we get into the clip, there's no reason for this.
For a drug search, still no evidence, still no probable cause, but now he's being taken in because he dared to understand his rights better than they did. Then the female officer arrives and everything changes. She doesn't de-escalate, she intensifies the pressure. The intimidation ramps up, and if you think it can't get worse, keep watching. You'll see just how quickly your rights can be twisted when laws are vague and unchecked authority is at play.
The bank get because there's cash in the car, there's over £1,000 you can seize it.
Yeah, no, it's mine. She's no for
Yeah, over £1,000 you can seize it. About money laundering, then for over £1,000.
money laundering.
But if you can prove that it's yours, whatever.
If I was a police officer and I was suspecting somebody of money laundering, I would need a reasonable suspicion. So say for example the codes on all of the notes, if those numbers in the wad of £1,000, either 10s or 20s, were sequential, that would be a red flag for money laundering. Alright? Or if all the notes were very, very new and they look like they came off the same print, that would be a suspicion of money laundering. That would be very, very... That's why when you money launder, that's why you phase the money in. That's how you do it, to get rid of the sequential notes in a proper way. That's why you do it. It doesn't look like they've got any of that. It looks like they may have pulled them over. It may have been speeding. There may have been a reason, broken taillights or something. They've noticed cash, and they're just like, right, we're having that. We're going to have you. Easy, Nick. Easy, Nick.
No problem.
What was just going to check?
So what grounds are you using for money laundering?
You just anyone over £1,000 you can have, because you haven't got a
you can
valid
tell-
reason to have it. You don't work, you have £1,000.
You don't have to
So
have a
what we'll do
reason
is,
to hold money.
well, we can seize it and we can investigate why you've got £1,000 cash, and then you can, and you can, if you can prove it, you just get it back. But you're obviously, it's an investigation. You'll have to get interviews about it.
So we'll leave that one there. They do get more schizophrenic and aggressive to the guy that they've stopped. But the point I'm making is this fear legislation that the government is bringing in. If you don't think it's going to be applied so they can be done with the police and the police can use it, or the banks can use it on their own remit because they want to keep as much of your money in their bank vaults as possible, or other state agencies, I don't know, the National Crime Agency may want it, or other government departments may want to look into it. It's all about control. And if you don't think that this, the fear legislation, is linked to the clampdown with the banks in monitoring what you're going to be bringing your money out for, and you don't think it's linked to the digital ID and the push for the digital currency, I've got several bridges I want to sell you. Let me know if you think I'm being paranoid. You let me know if you think I'm onto something here. As I say, 2-tier Kia, 3-gear Kia deserves no benefit of the doubt, and the sooner the Starmer bot is out of office, the better. Now if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, give me a like and subscribe. I will see you in the next one. You have a good day. Take it easy.